Hey there YouTube, here BMW. Sort of a quick update on my '06 E90 330i. This past week I was driving to work, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a pouring rain day, and all of a sudden I get an error message on the computer screen, and then another, and then another, and then all sorts of faults and warnings and errors. And I was lucky I got on the off-ramp and got into the parking lot at work, and basically the whole electrical system in the car just shut down. So scary as that was, had the car put on a roll-off and taken to a local independent shop that has a great reputation in our area, and found out that it was a fault that is fairly common in I guess in this particular model. And I can sort of show you, that's the battery down in there, and all of that red mess that you can see on top is a junction box of some description. And the end of the story is that inside, if you take that off and open that cover up, there are a whole lot of electrical connections. They're like spade type connections, and they were just corroded unbelievably. And one of the cautionary tales, or one of the downsides of ever buying a used vehicle, is you never know what somebody has or hasn't done with the car. And a few things that we learned is that apparently a problem with the electrical system at some point had occurred, and whoever had it worked on took it someplace, and they put a really cheap, like $49, $89, whatever it was, sort of CarQuest battery in. That was the brand name. And felt like they fixed the problem, and it didn't, because the problem wasn't in the battery, although the symptoms might have presented as such. So you know, I inherited a problem, and it turned out to be a very expensive problem. In hindsight, I probably, in fact I undoubtedly could have fixed that myself. I've of course had a week without the car while it was being worked on and diagnosed and worked on, to do some research, and found out that I could have bought the parts and done it myself. But at home and on this car, or on any car, well, one thing I don't do is electrical things. If it plugs and unplugs, I'm okay. But in this case, I had no idea. I mean, the electronics were screwy, the transmission was throwing messages, which I understand in the end all related back to that connection, because there's one lead that goes to the engine, there's one lead that comes off the battery that goes to the electronics, and yada yada yada. So in the end, very expensive repair, but it's done, working great. Everything in the car seems to be top-notch again. And so, as I'm always want to do, since I wanted to double check, you know, trust but verify, I wanted to check the work that they had done. And they told me they put in a BMW battery, and it turns out they didn't, but they put in what is a Interstate Batteries BMW approved, as near as I can tell, battery. So I'm okay with that. All the connections I've checked and double checked, they all seem to be just as they should be. What I really like is they put dielectric grease on a lot of the fittings and connections and whatnot. So anyway,